again, and arose to stand in my defense. So I come to tell you He's alive, to tell you that He dries every tear that falls.
Hello, this is Clint Louie coming to you with 5 minutes from friendship. I'm sure you recognize what this is. This is a Sour Patch Kid. Sour Patch Kid, you know why they call them that, of course, because they're so sour when you eat them. It's like eating like a warhead or some piece of candy like that. You know, it's just sour. Can I tell you something today? We have to beware the sour monster. Beware the sour monster. You know what the sour monster is? It's that little creature that wants to get in your life and sour what God has placed in your life and was sweet in your life. It wants to sour the relationship. It wants to spoil the milk. It wants to sour what's sweet in your life. I had an occasion with the sour monster some years ago. My wife and I were living in Tennessee and we're working in a great church. And one summer, myself, my wife, my family, and the youth director and his wife and family, we took a group of teenagers to youth camp. You want something to change your life? Spend a week with teenagers at youth camp. It's amazing. It's great. We worshiped God with these kids. We prayed with these kids. We played games with these kids, eating with these kids. I mean, it was fantastic. Shortly after youth camp was over, the youth director and his wife announced they were leaving to go to another part of the country to start a new church. Well, that naturally begs the question, well, who's going to be the youth director? Who's going to work with the kids? My wife and I wanted it. We wanted it bad. We love these kids. We wanted it bad. And we all, we just hoped and prayed that it would come to us. The pastor would ask us to do it. A new man and his wife came to the church. Pastor brought him in. The sour monster came for me because I knew and I felt like, oh no, it's going to somebody else. The sour monster came. And you know what happens? He wants to get in my heart and sour my relationship with God, with my pastor, with my church, and with this new man and his wife. And then on top of that, when the pastor announced that this was who's going to be the youth director, my wife and I, we wept like babies. We cried. And then the pastor asked if I would introduce him to the kids. Man, that was hard. That was so hard. Sour monster came. And the sour monster goes by many different names. It can be bitterness, anger, envy, jealousy, pride. But the sour monster cometh. Beware the sour monster. Sort of reminds me of the prodigal son in Luke 15. You remember the story? You remember when the young man got out of the world, got out in sin, and then he came home? He got right with his father. The father welcomed him with open arms. But then he had an elder brother who didn't even want to see him. The sour monster had come for the elder brother. The sour monster was working in the elder brother. He's like, Dad, I don't even want to see my brother. Dad, he wouldn't even call him his brother. He told his dad, he said, this is your son. He said, you never threw me a party, Dad. You never gave me music. You never let me invite my friends over. But yet as soon as this guy comes home who's done what's wrong, you're giving him a party. The sour monster cometh. Beware the sour monster. Can I tell you, if we're not careful, what's going to happen is the sour monster is going to get in your heart over, it could be anything. He's going to sour your relationship with God, with your church, with your family. Things that God has placed in your life that were sweet. The sour monster is going to sour it. Right now we got so many things going on in the world, and men everywhere, we all have our opinions and ideas and thoughts. We all have our concerns. But if I'm not careful, the sour monster is going to get in between me and my fellow brothers and sisters. The sour monster is going to get in the church if I'm not careful. I want to tell you, beware the sour monster. What we need to do, when we see him pop his ugly head up, you need to go to God in prayer. And then what you need to do is you need to ask the Lord, search your heart, and refuse to give in to the sour monster. Don't be so proud as think it won't happen to you. Refuse to give in to the sour monster and resist him. Resist the devil and he will flee from you. And say, I refuse to give up what was sweet in my life. I'm going to beware the sour monster. This is Clint Louie. You have a great day.